Whoa. Man, what's up YouTube? George here, back with another tutorial. I don't know why I get so excited for that. It's just, this is probably the first one you've seen anyway, so don't need these. Alright, so, probably yesterday I just released that floating man hat Kendama video. If you didn't see it, I'll play it here anyway. But it's kind of the classic thing where I spent about 5-10 minutes filming and then about 8 hours straight editing, as I do. So I figured I could just run through what I did. I did one of these for that LaCroix video. It's on my YouTube channel. I didn't really advertise it, but it is there. Did it just get darker in here? Anyway, I did one for the LaCroix video. I learned a lot about how I kind of want to go about these. And I feel like I forgot so many things I wanted to say in the LaCroix video, and it was still like 8 minutes long, or maybe 13, or something like that. So I'm going to try to be more concise. Lots of detail, but quicker spoken. That's my plan for today. So I have my computer right here. Going to go ahead and just share the screen so that I can talk to the camera and then also see what's happening on the screen and kind of explain it first. LaCroix. This hibiscus flavor, it's so good. By far my favorite. Alright, so as any of these projects go, you need to start with some base footage, and that's what this is right here. I was working on some other freelance work at a coffee shop down on Pearl Street in Boulder, and I just needed a little break, so I went outside and wanted to get a clip. I was trying like an actual trick, and then I was like, ah, screw it, I kind of want to edit something new anyway. I knew I wanted to walk in, and I knew that I wanted it to transition to some sort of stop motion, analog elements, kind of trippy effect. So that's why I walk in, and then right here I pause, and that is literally just so that I have some time to transition. And then simple trick, because I didn't want to keep walking back and forth in a frame, it still took me like 10 minutes to get all the timing correctly. So yeah, that's about it. And then I left the camera running just so I could have an empty shot, and that's going to come into play later. So yeah, besides the fact that I knew I wanted to make a similar effect, I didn't know the details or the logistics or anything. And that's kind of how a lot of these goes. I have an idea, and then I'm usually just like, oh, I'll figure it out. I think maybe a new idea will come to me, or I'll be able to do the one I wanted. So that's just usually how it goes. So because of that, I had a few different ideas. Like right here, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll replace it with a real hat. I took a picture with my green screen. I think I have a photo of that process too. I'll put up on the screen as well. And then also I took one with a shirt, and this was kind of difficult because I wanted to be able to get the same perspective as the shot, because the shot isn't completely straight on, as you can see. So I tried to get the shirt to be like angled a little bit, and I stuffed it with like a bath towel and some beanies and I think some socks to try to give it some volume. And honestly, it just made me look lumpy. It just looked super whack. And then I was like, well, why am I even trying to replace me, who's wearing real clothing in real life, with other real clothing? Like, what's the point of that? That's kind of boring. So then I was like, alright, maybe I'll do a collage stop motion similar to the jail animation that I did a couple years back. Or I could draw, because I've also done that before. The process of drawing on paper and then cutting that out and putting it into the video. So that's what I went with. That's what this drawing right here is. I was originally going to do a hat and a shirt and pants and the kendama and all this stuff and basically build a full character except for the skin. And I actually have them right here, and I'll show a photo as well. 3 different versions because I wanted it to feel like it was moving a little bit more. If you just rotate through them one frame at a time, it kind of gives a cool, like, jittery, more alive feel to it. So once I did have these, I just went through for each element. We'll start with hat. And as you can see, it's just a mask, so if I delete this mask, it's just a full photo. So let's Command Z that, let's zoom back in. And I wanted to have, since I already did the drawings in kind of a sketchy feel, as you see here, I kind of wanted the mask to feel like it was like jaggedly cut out of the paper and with not much care. So that's what I did, and then it repeats. So these are all just different drawings with different masks. And you can see they're similar enough where it just keeps like a hat, but it's kind of more alive. And then it's just a matter of literally just copy and pasting one frame at a time, and I did it for 12 seconds. And something important about this is this composition is on 6 frames per second. The lower frame rate than the main comp, which is at 30. And that's just so that I can do one frame, but it's not like super fast. Because if it was on 30 frames a second for one frame, it would just be like, you wouldn't even be able to tell what's happening. So this gives it kind of that stop motion feel of like not perfect motion. Similar thing for the Ken. If we just deleted a mask, you'd see that it's just the full paper. And then same thing for the Tama. And as you saw in the drawing, I originally wanted to do pants and shirt. So I also did it for my pants and shirt. Exact same technique, just lining up the 3 frames so that it feels like one shirt, but has a little bit of movement to it. Again, just repeating frames forever. Alright, but then I decided I wasn't going to do the pants and the shirt, and I'll show you why in a second. Zoom in a little bit. So first, I needed obviously the hat and the kendama to follow what the actual clip was to make it look real. So that's kind of the most tedious process. I already opened these up. Let's close all these. It's literally just a matter of going through, and I would match it up and just follow my head. And since I wasn't actually wearing a hat, it was kind of guessing, being like, oh, if I'm looking up, the hat is about angled that way. It wasn't perfect, obviously. But you can see it didn't really need to be perfect because I think it looks decently like my head's bobbing up and down and rotating, and that's all I really needed. So then, yeah, it's literally just the same thing for the tama. The tama, I didn't need any rotation keyframes because I didn't really know how the ball was rotating anyway, and you can't really tell. The ken and tama are a little more important to be precise just because I wanted it to feel real. I wanted to feel the actual gravity and physics of the kendama, or else you wouldn't really be able to tell what the trick is. Like, you don't see my hands, but you know exactly what the trick is, and I was really happy to see that it worked that well because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. So yeah, this looks like an absolute mess. This was definitely a bulk of the time. I mean, look at this. I think it's about 7 seconds total of just going frame by frame and adjusting rotation and position of each of these elements. And you think that's a lot, but then I also tried to do it with my shirt and pants. I'll show you that. It's actually kind of funny. So yeah, this is how far I got. Obviously, I didn't animate all the legs because I was like, this is just not working. Yeah, so this is what I was kind of working with. Like, it just opens up. Like, look at that. So then I tried to fill them in with just these, like, random pieced together masks to make it look like a sleeve. And then I was like, okay, this is just way too much work. So I said, fuck it. But I think in the end, I'm happy with the simplicity. It's really cool how much you can tell what the movement is just by a fake hat that wasn't even the real thing and a kendama. You can tell exactly what my body would have looked like. I think that was, like, kind of a cool experiment to figure out. So anyway, yeah. Oh god, now my oh yeah. Let's get rid of that shit. Nope. Okay, so now I had this part, and I also knew that I wanted to have some like hands come in. It's just kind of a style I like. I thought it looked kind of funny to kind of be like me in a non-digital way editing the video. Like my hands are actually moving it, but then it's also like digitally edited. I don't know. So for the hands, pretty simple. Just hand in front of a green screen. Terrible lighting on the green screen, and again, because I did it so poorly, I ended up just masking anyway. And it didn't have to be that good because the finger's in for it, what, like a second at a time? So similar thing for the 3 pointers, and then a grab hand, and then the snap, which was a motion like this, and then just one frame like that. And how this works is when the pointer comes in, it's holding the tama, right? So that tama is just a freeze frame of the loop that I had already created. Here's the tama, that's what this is, and then here's the finger. So this pick whip tool, you can grab this swirl, and then if you just bring it up to whatever layer you want, then that will follow the same rotation scale, whatever properties of the one that you pick whip it to. So that way it stays on the finger as I'm moving. And then when I want it to stay, that's what this cut is, because now this cut is the exact same layer as the previous one, but this one, you see, it does not have a parent link to the pointer. So now when the finger moves, it will stay there. Now the finger goes back individually. So that's a process for all these. You can kind of see it in the layers. And then the last one was that. Now this one's a little more complicated just because it looks... Number one, I had to cut myself out from the background, which again is just a tedious mask. Number two, I wanted it to look like, I was actually in the grip, like that. So that means there has to be 2 layers. One for just the thumb to be on top of me, and then the other layer is behind. So this is the thumb. This one is literally just, see, so this is just that little mask to make myself over. This is the whole hand here, grab hand. You can see the thumb mask right there. And then this is me. So there's that whole mask I had to do. And then the reason this works is because I have an empty shot here, which is the background. So that's why I can just take myself out and it looks like I'm not part of the background. Boop. And then this is a similar thing where once I grab it, this time, now I want this to be pick whipped to grab hand is what I did. And then the snap, like I said, just boom, boom. Just literally just 2 different photos. And this is one part I'm really proud of, is that subtle. See this? You see these shadows right here? And the point of it is that you don't even notice it. Like, I want it to look so real that you don't even notice it. And that again is just some fill layers. It just has a Gaussian blur, which just blurs it, and then a fill, which takes the shape of that layer, and then just I can make it black. And then all you have to do is offset it a little bit to the left and a little bit down. And I tried to match it to the actual shadows I saw like here, so you can kind of see like those shadows right there. I tried to match so that these would have the similar like opacity and feel. So those will automatically follow, because it's literally the same layer, will follow the hat and the Ken to give it that feel. And this pause little animation, I just pressed play and pause on YouTube video a couple times and observed how they do it. It just is a scale up right here, and then an opacity from 100 to 0 at the same rate. And if you had a click sound, it feels exactly like someone's pausing the video. Pretty sure that's all of the After Effects editing. You know, it's one of those things that just like looks like an absolute mess. So After Effects is really kind of daunting, but if you kind of are the one doing the project, it makes a lot of sense to you. It's kind of what I figured out. Ooh, jeez. Once I had the base in After Effects, I wanted to do a little bit more with sound editing, and add some logos and stuff. So in Premiere, one big thing I do is I kind of add this handheld motion preset, and it just kind of adds this like fake camera movement to a static shot, and it makes, especially when you're doing visual effects, it makes it feel so much more real, because when a camera's moving, visual effects just look so much better, because they're like, wow, they're actually a part of the environment. This is just a clicking noise for the pause, and then this right here is a snap, and then another snap right here. This is the sound of the actual clip, so that you could still hear the taps and the spikes. I thought that was really important to make it feel real. And then lastly, I added the music. I actually added the music in After Effects, I realized. Adjustment layer just for some color. I really didn't do much. I feel like, yeah, I don't know, just brightened it a little bit. It's my logo in the corner, just super small little thing in the bottom right there. And then a bigger logo at the end, because I'm trying to, you know, get recognized in the scene, you know? I want people to know who I am. Yeah, that's really about it, I feel like. I'm sure I missed some stuff. I'm sure I talked too fast at points and too slow at other points. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Maybe I'll make more if people actually watch them. Thanks for hopefully liking the video. I don't even know how well it's going to do, because I'm recording this before I release it. But I'm hoping that people like it. I'm pretty proud of it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do another one for like an edit 3, or maybe that V24 promo animation thing I did. I don't know, who knows. See you in the next one.